Everyone loves classic good versus evil storytelling. It's why franchises like Star Wars, Marvel, and The Lord of the Rings are so popular. We can often tell within the first scene who the good guys and the bad guys are. This simplicity in storytelling is elegant and effective because it is so black and white, literally so in the case of The Lord of the Rings. Real life is too nuanced and complicated to have clear lines between heroes and villains most of the time, despite what you might read on Twitter. We tend to appreciate this simplicity in our entertainment because it's an escape from the ambiguity of reality. But some fiction chooses to exist within this ambiguity by presenting a world and characters more akin to reality. This can be challenging to deal with, and it's meant to be, but it's also rewarding in a way that traditional stories aren't. What's up, gamers? It's Absurd here, and I recently saw a Reddit thread in which the OP was asking if the protagonist in Armored Core is a villain, and seemed really hung up on that idea. So in this video, I want to prepare people for what to expect from Armored Core 6, and analyze this type of ambiguous Armored Core storytelling. First things first, I want to make it clear that you can enjoy Armored Core without being invested in this story. If you are familiar with FromSoft's narratives, they are broken at best, hence why lore tubers have been so successful covering their games. If you don't care about the story, it won't be forced on you for the most part. You can happily shoot and loot and enjoy countless hours of replayability, and there is nothing wrong with that. But if the story does matter to you, you should know what kind of story you are getting into. Because Armored Core is nothing like the stories we typically get from mainstream fiction. We don't always play the hero in video games. If you've ever played Fallout or any other RPG, you've probably enjoyed an evil playthrough in which you do the bad thing whenever you get the chance. This style of gameplay is still black and white, and it often incentivizes you to approach the game in a black and white manner. If you are doing an evil playthrough in Knights of the Old Republic, you are actually punished for doing anything good. The light side points you gain are suboptimal for your dark side build. It's the same with karma in Fallout, which can lock you out of gaining certain companions. While these game narratives may depart from the classic trope of you playing the hero, they still remain black and white with their storytelling. Now, there is potential for some nuance here, where in Fallout 3 you can play as a villain, but still ultimately end up saving the capital wasteland and being the anti-hero. Or you can play as a good guy and choose not to purify the wasteland's water, thus becoming an anti-villain. Now, I don't want to deep dive on this hero and villain terminology because it doesn't apply to Armored Core. Armored Core isn't about heroes and villains. It's about a messed up world that forces everyone to be the bad guy, just to survive. There is no moral choice. This differs from typical fictional narratives, which are based on idealism. Whether those ideals are good or evil determines your experience in the game. However, Armored Core approaches its storytelling from a point of realism, with ambiguous morality. None of the available choices are clearly right or clearly wrong. This type of storytelling may discomfort newcomers to the Armored Core franchise, but it can be highly rewarding if you like to dig into the nuance of things. From Software has never been known for hand-holding their audience, not with gameplay or with narrative, and Armored Core thrusts you into a dysfunctional world that forces everyone to be the bad guy. This doesn't mean anyone is a victim either. The dysfunctional world is a product of humans doing what humans do. It's a dysfunction that you participate in. You are a mercenary with one marketable skill, piloting an armored core. And that AC has one function: to destroy. You gotta pay the bill somehow. The first ever missions in Armored Core give you a choice. Will you eliminate these homeless squatters, or will you eliminate these striking laborers? Those are the options. Nothing heroic about that. Unlike classic samurai films in which a wandering ronin can stop at a village and offer protection from bandits in exchange for food and lodging, no village can afford the price of your armored core, but the corporations can. And so you will take jobs for them. You will go into this village or that and become the bandit. It's not a matter of good and evil, it's a means of survival. Armored Core eschews the mass market black and white narrative to critique the dysfunction of our age, an age in which people tweet their hate for corporations from corporate products constructed by foreign child labor. Does owning a smartphone make you a villain? Welcome to reality, where there is no black and white, no heroes, no villains. Just a corrupt world and those trying to survive it the best they can. I get why people don't always enjoy this style of storytelling. After a long day at work, it's nice to enjoy a cozy story where the good guys are good and the bad guys are bad, where everything makes sense and reality is just a dream. But don't expect that in Armored Core 6. Going back to the Reddit post, the OP assumed that the Rubicon Liberation Front are the good guys. I get it. They are defending their home world from the corporations. That's noble. But that doesn't make them heroes. People have committed terrible atrocities under the guise of defending their homeland. Hero as a term is too relative in this context. From what we've seen in the recent gameplay, the RLF gives extremist cult-like vibes, which in and of itself doesn't make them bad, but the extremes at either end of a given spectrum are rarely good. We know there will be multiple endings in Armored Core 6, and one of them could be to support the Liberation Front in defense of their homeworld, but don't count on that being the hero ending. In Armored Core 4 Answer, there were multiple endings as well. We could choose to protect the corporate elite on their cradles while those left on the surface of the planet suffer in radiation. Or we can choose to bring down the cradles so all suffer equally, but reroute power from the cradles to open up a path to new life in outer space. With either option, millions of people will suffer and die. How can you call yourself a hero after making that choice? With that as an example, don't expect to be the hero in Armored Core 6. Expect to play the game and survive the best way you can. Or simply shoot and loot and likely enjoy yourself more than the rest of us stuck agonizing over the bleak morality of Armored Core. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe to the channel. According to YouTube, less than 10% of you are subscribed. But if you're already subscribed and want to show more support, check the description for links to my Discord, Twitter, and Patreon. You can also join the channel as a member to get some little perks. Anyway, until next time gamers, abide with Rubicon.